So the Bible gives us a picture here of a beautiful world before sin. There was no death of people or animals.
Right.
Now let's bring that picture into sharper focus. What about plants?
Yes, aren't they alive and didn't they die? Or didn't at least parts of them die when Adam and Eve ate their breakfast?
That's the question.
Or if Adam pruned a grapevine, for instance.
Yeah. Now, clearly, we need to define death, what it means to die. But before we define death, we really need to define life, right?
Makes
Something
sense, yeah.
can't die if it's not alive. So what does it mean for something to be alive in the biblical sense now? We notice that God uses a special term to define some kinds of his creation, nefesh kaya. In Hebrew, this is often translated living creature. Now, this chart shows where it's used in Genesis.
God uses the term living creatures to refer to the creatures in the sea in Genesis 1, 20, and 21. It probably also applies to flying creatures mentioned in the same verses. Land-based animals are also called living creatures in verse 24. In verse 30, all living creatures were to eat plants. And finally, in Genesis 2:7, God created the man, Adam, who is also called by the same term, translated living creature or living soul.
Now, you can see a few other times where it appears in Genesis there. It describes, for example, the animals brought to Adam for him to name and the animals that were brought to Noah to be preserved in the ark.
So God makes a distinction between the living creatures and at least one other form of life, plants.
Yes. Yeah. God never refers to plants with that same term, nefesh kaya. Rather, he states that the nefesh kaya, the living creatures, are given plants as their food source.